Just kind of start off today, really comfortable, heavy, grounded position, just on your back. Really anything you'd like to do with your arms and legs is great. Just take a moment to be. Having really big inhales, kind of spreading open the ribs, spreading open the belly. Really big exhales. And take some time here. Let your body and your mind transition out of busy day vibe. Okay, whatever you got going on. It's okay to just kind of shrug it all off right now and just be. Just allow what is going on at the moment just to be productive enough just to exist and notice how it feels to just lay still. Allowing the whole body to soften here. Some places that humans normally get tight include the chest, okay? We tend to get so crunched up in the shoulders, right? I'm sure most people can relate to that. So allow those shoulders to soften away from each other. I like to flip my palms up to the sky when I'm resting in this laying down position. And that puts a nice external rotation in the shoulders. And it's easy to slip the shoulder blades way far down underneath your back. And that's going to really help give that big open chest feeling. Okay, it's all right to let the breath get really big and loud here. Okay, it's a healthy, kind of a loud breath sound in your ears. It should feel comforting. Okay, practicing your ujjayi breath, that warming, victorious breath, it's called. Okay, continue to breathe deeply. We're going to take a couple more minutes just inhaling deeply, using all those belly and chest muscles expanding outward. And then really exhaling fully. I want you to employ all of the belly muscles on the front of your chest and your belly. And then really compress all of that toward the spine on the exhales. Okay, and keep this big breath moving. And see if you could find the fullest breath here, that fullest inhale you can take. Really stretching to the top of your lung capacity. Maybe hold it there for a second or two. And then exhale completely, squeezing out all of the air in your lungs, and then squeeze out more and more, pulling and contracting the belly muscles inward towards your spine. It should feel good. Maybe hold the breath out for a few seconds. Who knows? Okay, we'll take a few more long, slow breaths just like this. So just close your eyes down and just enjoy breathing deeply. With each wave of breath, feel a little more tension drain out of your body and just feel content. One advantage of emptying those lungs fully, if you think about it, besides strengthening the belly muscles, is how often do you really clean out all the air in your lungs? We tend to get so shallow and short with our breathing, don't we, during the day? So it's really helpful to spend a couple of moments clearing the lungs out completely, bringing in clean, fresh air. We'll take one more. We'll take big breath in here. Take it to the top. Hold it right there. And exhale completely. Hold it right there. All right. You can let your breath return to normal. Okay, notice how just a little deep intentional breathing can really shift your mindset and the way your body feels too. So we're going to have a real slow and stretchy chill practice today. Keep your breath nice and long, please. Let's just bring that right knee in. We're going to bring it into the chest. We're going to hug it close, really gently. And then with kind of a loose grip on it, really easy, just start swinging that knee around in little circles, just kind of feeling out the hip. Okay, taking it over to the left, maybe a little bit, and over to the right. Think of it as a hip massage. Okay, as the hip loosens up, maybe after about 30 seconds, usually that's about how long it takes for a muscle to kind of get the message that it's stretching. Okay, after a little bit of time, start to hug the knee a little close in, maybe get a little tighter grip on it if it feels okay. Maybe even think about grabbing your wrists and pulling the knee close. And just nice and easy, don't feel like you have to force it. Think of lifting your heart up toward the knee as well as you breathe. And finding that big breath again. Okay, if everything's going great here, you can get a really lovely low back release by tucking that chin into your chest. Okay, give it a little tuck in. And then think of peeling your head and shoulders up, pulling that belly button to the mat as if you're trying to lift your chest up towards your knee. Okay, so the knee is moving inward and the heart is moving upward. Hold and breathe. Okay. So I'm going to activate your core a little bit here because it's really great low back release just to get a little core activation. What if we would lift the left leg up off the floor? Okay, just a little curved shape in your spine, a flexed spine. Finding a nice, easy breath. Maybe one more here. Feeling strong and stable. And you can release that right leg, stretch out, and just bring it back to a laying down. Maybe shake off here. Okay, as the blood flows back into that right hip, notice how good it feels. It should feel a little different than the left. Let's do the left. Let's bend the left knee, bring it in. Okay, I like to scooch my low back really close to the floor here. It might feel nice. Take a loose grip on that left knee. And just hug it in like a gentle encouragement, but nothing forceful. We'll just start to move it around. Okay, I find it almost makes it a little easier to offer a little gentle resistance with the knee. So what I mean is push the hand out a little bit with your knee, but make it loose. Okay, when we add a gentle activation as we stretch a joint out, we get our best results, short and long term. Once it's a little bit softer in the hip, and hopefully you notice a really nice low back release here as well. It softens up a little. Go ahead and give that knee a really firm hug inward and press against the hand a little bit with the knee. Notice if that changes how it feels. Okay, activating it. And take some nice breath here. And we're going to hold this lovely stretch, okay? Getting right into your left hip, going into your low back and evening things out. So we could stay down here in the floor or on the floor and be very chill and gentle today. Or if you wanted to deepen your hip stretch and deepen the low back opening, you could tuck the chin, peel your upper body slowly up until your shoulder blades are off the floor. Like you wanted the heart to come toward the knee. And take a few breaths here. Okay, experiencing a little challenge in the core. That's good. We want that. Draw the belly downward. Perhaps really protecting your low back here. Promise me you'll do that. So drawing that belly downward, maybe we lift the right leg. Hold and breathe, friends. Think of your long neck here. Think of the back of your neck being extremely long. Okay, finding maybe one more nice breath in this great core activating low back stretch. And then come down slowly. Stretch it out. Shake it off here. Let the blood flow back into that left hip. Notice how good it feels. All right. Let's bring the feet in here and do some bridges. So with your feet up close by your hips, you have this nice situation where your knees point up and you can press your hands down by your hips, okay? And I like to have the palms down, so that gives me the chance here. You can tuck the shoulder blades underneath your ribs and kind of lengthen that spine out. You get a nice big heart. So in your bridges, go ahead and imagine that you have a yoga block between your knees and start to squeeze that imaginary yoga block inward and give it a really good squeeze. Okay, don't be shy. But so you still have a little space between the knees, okay? So keep the space, keep the knee together, squeeze. And think about pointing your tailbone up between your knees. So you've activated a pelvic tilt, you'll feel your abs turn on right away, okay? That's how we want to do a bridge with a strong core. So keep the knees moving inward, keep the tailbone pointed up between your knees. And then with your inhale, just lift those hips up to the sky. Think of peeling your back up. All right, with your exhale, you're going to roll it down really slowly. Let's do that a few times. Keep the strong inward movement with your knees, okay? Inhale up. Exhale down. All right, so take a few more like this, just building a little movement, linking your breath. Always inhale and exhale. And keep that nose pointed straight up at the sky. And so hopefully you're going to feel your lower body get nice and warm. It's going to feel more fluid and open with each movement. Okay, super important to keep those knees squeezing together. We'll take a few more. It's super important to get that back body and that lower body woken up. Okay, next time you come up into your little gentle bridge, come on in and hold. Okay, here you are. You have many options. If you need to come down and take a rest, please do at any time. Okay, but if you're feeling fine, go ahead and draw those knees inward here toward each other and just enjoy your bridge shape. Okay, allow the upper back to kind of smoosh into the floor here. This can be a very pleasant upper back massage, and you can even kind of roll around into it. Maybe consider joining your hands underneath you. You can kind of hold your hand, and then that gives you the opportunity to scoot your shoulder blades under your heart and kind of prop the heart up and open in your bridge pose. So we'll take a few more breaths, friends. Feet, hips distance. Big front body opening. You should feel big space across that chest, across your hips. How about one last big breath in here in this wonderful pose? And see if you could come out with really slow control, okay? Releasing your hands slowly if you join them. Let's roll the spine down very slowly, like a snake spine. Snake it down. Take some nice deep breaths along the way. All right, once you land, it might feel really nice to step the feet really wide away from each other and take some fabulous hip windshield wipers just side to side with it. Okay, really nice hip massage, really nice low back massage for you today. Windshield wipers. Take a couple more, okay, starting to really draw the knees downward with more firmness, perhaps, if that feels okay. Really opening up around the inner and outer hip, low back. Okay, next time your knees point to the right, okay, pause in there. We're gonna take the arms really wide here, spread them open, and look over to the left. Take some breath here. Okay, in this very gentle twist, you could stay very mellow and just exist and breathe. Or you could choose to activate your arms against the floor a little bit and kind of lift your heart up and open. Okay, a nice stretch across your shoulders here. Okay, maybe one more breath here. Perhaps you draw the knees downward toward the earth a little more firmly, deepening this twist. And we'll bring the knees through center here. Let's just drop them over to the other side. Okay, draw those knees over to the left. And then you look to the right. Close your eyes if you like. I try to always be so clear with my words that you wouldn't even have to look and you could just close your eyes at any time. So always feel free. Just reduce that visual input. Okay, after a few breaths in your twist, maybe you start to want to deepen it a little bit. Okay, the body relaxes open. Draw the shoulders down into the ground. Think of lifting your chest open. Almost like you're trying to do a back bend here. And then perhaps you pair that with that drawing downward of the knees to deepen that twist. Last breath here. Okay, let's bring those knees back up and in. Bring them into your chest here. Give yourself a nice hug. Okay, you can draw the knees inward towards your heart, separate or apart. Okay, try both. Feel the low back kind of smooshing out on the ground, and feel free to kind of waggle around on that. Okay, such a great release for that low back. As you're ready, go ahead and tuck your hands behind your knees, and we'll do a little playful rock all the way up. So rock yourself up to a seat. You can cross your ankles here, and we can try rolling over to hands and knees. Of course, if you'd rather just swing your legs around, you can do that too. Hands and knees, here we are. And get a nice spread in your fingertips here so that you can really grab the mat, okay? And start to get the upper body really involved in your all fours position. So putting some weight in the hands really intentionally. We want to lift the heart up between the shoulder blades, okay? Go ahead and walk your knees out until you feel like you're in a little bit of maybe more of a plank with the knees, a knee plank then the hands and knees. And we're just gonna move your shoulder blades just to give you a nice shoulder mobility and stretch moment. Okay, try to isolate this shoulder movement. Think of sliding your shoulder blades together. Okay, so you're gonna think of your heart kind of dipping toward the ground, but not your belly. Your belly stays up. And now push the floor really hard and lift that heart up away, sliding your shoulder blades away from each other. So hopefully you feel the difference. Try it a few more times. Inhale, think of dropping the heart, but keep the belly up. Shoulder blades slide together. Exhale, shoulder blades apart. Okay, try a few more. It should feel pleasant, maybe a pleasant challenge, who knows? But it's a really lovely way to warm and kind of balance those muscles around your neck. They get so tired. They work so hard. So keep your grip on the ground. Keep a slight softness in your elbows. Let's do 3 more. Keep that belly strong and lifted. 2 more scapula push-ups. One more. Don't worry, there's a reward after this for your shoulders. Okay, now tuck your toes together. Go ahead and take your knees nice and wide. Press your hips back into a really wide knee child's pose. And take a moment here, allowing your shoulders, which have been really nicely warmed, to just relax open to the floor. Take some deep breaths. Okay, you can keep your child's pose nice and low here and start to reach your hands out away from you. And we're really going to start to press the fingertips down here. Think of lifting your elbows here. Notice how that stretch kind of opens up your shoulders. You can lean into one shoulder at a time if you like you're looking under one armpit at a time. Okay, and then keep your activity in your arms, okay? And it doesn't have to be a lot. It can just be very subtle activity, just pressing against the ground. And we're gonna walk the hands over to the right and get a side stretch here. So ground your fingertips. You can ground your forehead too, but keep those arms up. And this is gonna allow the shoulder blades to really slide down your back. And you can start to move the hips over to the left. So stretching out the left side. Breathe deeply here. You can let that forehead rest. Okay, feel your shoulders continuing to warm and open up toward the ground with very little effort. Okay. Sometimes if we just exert very little effort, but we spend a good amount of time there, we can get great results. So let's walk our stretch over to the left. I'm going to enjoy it for a few breaths. Okay, think of a really nice stretch in that right side here. Peel the armpit downward. And to deepen it, you can start to move your hips over to the right. I'd say rest the forehead here, but keep the elbows up. And so what's cool about this is not only are we opening the right side, but we're compressing the left. So embrace that compression in the left side as well. I find that really nice across the back. Okay, bring your wide knee child's pose, shoulder stretch back to center. And then let's pull it up to hands and knees from here. Come on up. I'm gonna get you off your knees because I know I've had you down there for a while. So you can bring the knees a little closer. Tuck your toes. Go ahead and lift your hips. We're just gonna do a little hang here. So a little forward fold with really bent knees. Okay, you can shake your spine out. Okay, really allow your head to hang. So if you are a person who, when you're here, you'll find yourself doing like this. So I want you to really avoid that. So bend your knees enough that your chest is by your knees, okay? And just hang. You can even widen your stance. But this is really important because what we're doing is we're hanging your spine in traction, which is a really unique opportunity to release tension in your back. So you might even grab your elbows, take the feet even wider and kind of really sink into it. Knees bending, stretching open the legs. Okay, shaking your head. Yes and no. Okay, maybe even step your feet a little wider. Who knows? Turn those toes inward though, if you're going to go wider than your mat, okay? Turn those toes in, bend the knees, and maybe we take the hands behind your back. Okay, you can move them away from you, but I want you to keep a little bend in your elbows, please, so they don't lock out. Okay, this should feel really nice. There should never be any pain. If you have pain, you're just gonna back out right away, okay? Take a few more breaths, just hanging in your fold. Okay, as you are ready, we're gonna bring ourselves back down, okay? Come on down with your hands if they were up. We're gonna bring them back to the mat. Walk it forward to your hands and knees. So I wanna get us into a little lunge from here. I feel like the hips are nice and warm, the shoulders are. So lunge would be a great idea. So let's get into the right hip first. Let's do some knee circles first. So just moving that right knee in the biggest circles you can. And I like to start with keeping the right hip level. So doing your best to lift the knee, but not the hip. So notice how that kind of is a little tricky. So just experiment with that. And then reverse it, but keep the hip from lifting too much. Notice how it uses a specific set of muscles. Okay, now allow the hip to lift. Make the bigger circles all the way around. Notice how different it is. Let's rewind that. Really big movement, okay? All right, we're gonna take one and hold that knee when you swing it up by your right elbow. Hold it right there. See if you could very skillfully swing that right foot around and step it next to your right hand. And if it takes a couple steps, that's fine, okay? Once you get there, scooch the back knee back a little bit, as much as is comfortable, okay? If you need some extra space, you can come up on your fingertips here. And also if you need to back out of the lunge, you can just push up and step the right foot back at any time. Okay, so if it's ever too much, feel free to come out. But if the lunge is okay, I want to just move a little bit in it. So draw your hips back and forth a few times. All right, friends. Drawing some openness into the back of the right leg when we move back. Drawing some openness into the front of the left hip when we move forward. I'm just noticing if you have any tension in your hamstrings, you're going to notice it here. And just notice with compassion. So come on forward into the lunge. Okay, and we'll just try a little twist. So drop into the left hand. Make sure that it's very firmly under your left shoulder, nice and strong. And that right hand's going to come up. So nice twist here. Take a moment, grounding into that left hand and grounding into both your legs. Okay, if you ever need to come down, you can come down. But I'd like to take a few breaths up here. Think of both legs pushing the earth. Both elbows nice and soft and bendy here. They should always be a little soft. We're just going to breathe. Maybe close your eyes. If you are someone who is looking for a little extra opening in your left hip today, or maybe a little challenge, you could tuck the back toes and hover the back knee, okay? And I want you to keep the quad nice and firm if you do that, but still think of pressing the floor away with everything that's on the floor. Okay, holding and breathing in your twisted lunge. Maybe you might look up at that right thumb, okay? But you might look down. So find what makes sense for your neck today. Okay, one more breath here. Maybe try a nice stretch, reaching that right arm way up over your ear. Okay, big stretch in that right side. And as you're ready, we're going to bring it down. Drop the right hand under the right shoulder and drop the back knee. Okay, we're going to bring it back to hands and knees from here. You can swing that right knee around. And I want to get us off our knees real quick. So tuck your toes, knees up, and hands walk back to feet. Again, take a moment to swing and just hang. So good for your spine. Okay, can you imagine what compression the spine endures on a daily basis? So as before, maybe take the feet a bit wider after a few breaths, turn the toes inward, maybe even hands behind your back, who knows? Okay, you can also make the knees really bent here, always bending if you feel strain. Okay, maybe one more lovely breath here in your forward fold, perhaps a wide leg forward fold. Come down out of this, friend. Hands back under your shoulders. And you can walk forward to a hands and knees. Let's do the other side. So getting into the left hip now, we want to keep the hips level for this one, and we'll start to circle the knee out. Just the biggest range of motion you can make without lifting the hip. I find this very fascinating to notice what happens when we really isolate a certain movement. Okay, let's rewind that, but keep it low in the hip. Okay, now let's lift the hip. Let's allow the whole hip to move. Okay. Big, ridiculous circles here. Let's rewind them. Okay, the next time you draw that left knee forward, hover it right there and skillfully step that left foot forward. Okay, as many steps as you need. You feel free to stay very gentle in this lunge by keeping the right knee or the back knee forward. But if you like, you can scooch it back and it'll just move you a little deeper into your right hip and your left hamstring. Okay, and we're just gonna rock back and forth here with the hips forward, pulling the hips back. So notice that left hamstring getting a nice wake up here. You can really flex that left ankle, strong flex, dorsiflex, and get a calf stretch. Okay, lunge is also great for opening up that low back. So let's drop into the lunge here and just get a more comfortable palm down with that right hand, palm down, and then we'll get the left arm up, twisting. Now hold and breathe here. I'll spin around to face you. Okay, so you're here. Maybe even close your eyes. This would be a nice one to close eyes, okay? You can have the strength in your legs, just kind of pushing down. So the hand and the foot, everything on the floor, pushing down. And think of that top shoulder kind of revolving to open up over the bottom shoulder. Hold and breathe, holding your posture. Perhaps you tuck the back toe, hover the back knee, but you're still pushing the floor down. Okay, remember not to collapse into that bottom shoulder. Make sure that bottom hand is always pushing the floor away, strong, active in the joint, please. Okay, and perhaps for your last breath, you want to stretch that left arm up overhead. Big stretch into the left side. Let it go. Dropping that left hand back to the ground. I'm going to bring it back to hands and knees. Okay, from here, you can flip it over to a very comfy seat. Okay. Maybe have the feet in really close to you. Really, any comfortable seat is great. And hands on your knees. Let's take this moment to sit up tall. Okay, let your eyes close down. I'll use my words. Allow your whole body to just take a moment to settle in. Okay, we did some nice breathing and lunging, twisting. Spine should feel nice and warm and long. Okay, we'll essentially play with the spine here for a moment, just kind of exploring spinal flexion and extension. So drop your hands towards your knees and get a little grip on your knees, like you could pull on them a little bit. And then in fact, pull on your knees with your hands and move your heart forward. Just send that heart up and open. Think of the line of your spine curving forward, kind of arching open in that heart. Okay, and then reverse that curve. Pull your heart toward the back of your space. And you're going to curve yourself. Maybe even think about pointing your tailbone and the top of your head forward. Let's try that a few more times with breath. Inhale here, extending your spine. Think of the tailbone and the top of your head pointing back. Heart moves forward. Exhale, flexing your spine, rounding, heart back, tailbone, the top of the head forward. Okay, so hopefully you feel that kind of that movement in your spine. Take a few more breaths like this, compressing the back body as you inhale, compressing the front body as you exhale. So it's like a cat-cow, like when we do cat-cows on the ground, same idea. Okay, maybe one more. It feels really nice to use your whole spine like that. Okay. Okay, bring it back to a neutral spine and go ahead and walk your fingers out away from you on the ground. So we'll just stretch open all that back tissue that we just warmed. It's going to feel really nice. So as your fingers walk out, remember to continue to resist the floor a little bit because you want to think of grounding your tailbone here all the time. Notice how if you push the fingers down into the floor, the tailbone moves down and the low back feels long. So cultivate that. Okay, and your hands don't have to go out very far at all for that to be effective. So keep that in mind. But I just want you to find a place where you can reach out with your hands and start to stretch open the back of your body. So you might use fingertips, pressing down, pointing that tailbone to the ground, and just start to sway into it maybe. Keep a nice long neck. Okay, we'll start to walk the hands out to the left. So walk them out to one side and just take them as far out as you like. So you can even think of walking them almost slightly, almost where they're going behind you. Okay, big stretch across the back of your body. Hopefully you feel that from that right shoulder all the way down to your hip. So take a few breaths here, friends. You may let your head hang with a long neck. And think of really grounding that opposite hip, that right hip. Okay, we're going to open up the right side of the body here. So we're going to reach that right hand up. Okay, up over your head. Hold and breathe here. Keep grounding that right hip. So now we've really pulled that stretch into the right side. Just embrace it. Press that right hip down. Maybe walk the left fingers out, but do push the floor a little bit with them. Okay, so imagine we have a circle around you. Okay, you are in the center. Okay, your arms are the radius. And go ahead and drop that right hand and start to walk the hands out to that way out in front of you, just as far out as you like. Take a moment here. Okay, back where we started. And we're going to walk it over to the other side. So hands walk to the right. As far back as you like. Okay, but push the fingertips down. Pull that right hip there, left hip to the floor. Okay, we want a nice big breath here. Really releasing tension across the rib cage, shoulders. Okay, let's get that left hand up in the air. Stretching open the left side. Drop that left hip and pull it down to the floor. Okay, really great stretch in that side body. Okay, as you're ready, we're gonna let it go. Dropping the fingers back to the floor, walk them back to center. Okay, here, hands walk all the way back by you. And you can take your hands out behind you. Straighten out your legs, shake them out. Okay, we're gonna bring it back down to the floor here. But first, a little fish pose. It's gonna feel really nice to stretch open your spine after all that folding. Okay, we'll extend it a little bit. So drop your palms under your shoulders so the fingers point back at you. And you're just gonna drop to your elbows. All right, so here you are. You have your feet on the floor, but just whatever kind of bend in your knees feels nice. And notice how this allows your lower back to kind of cave in and draw down to the ground. And I want you to really embrace that here and allow the low back to kind of neutralize downward as if your tailbone wanted to point up between your knees. Okay, but allow that to give you some really good space in your upper back. So press the floor down away from you with your elbows. Okay, elbows really pushing down, like you wanted to lift your chest up toward the ceiling. And hold and breathe right here. So this is going to be a really fantastic stretch for the front of your shoulders, maybe across your chest, who knows? If it's enough, stay here. Keep a really nice tuck in your chin, like you're trying to look at your belly button, okay? So if everything's fine and you keep pushing into your elbows and you want to deepen the extension in your spine, okay, safely and effectively, keep that strong tuck in your chin, like you want to see your belly button. And then keeping the tuck, draw the back of your head down toward the ground. Now that's a safe spinal extension. We want to hold and breathe right here. Push those elbows down and breathe. Tucking your chin in whenever you think about it. Release the back of the head down, down, down. Okay, you're gonna feel a great massage all around your neck vertebrae, okay? The muscles that move your head and shoulders. One more big breath here in your fish pose. Okay, if you had dropped your head, go ahead and roll it back in. Okay, chin tucking in to look at your belly button. Okay, flexing your spine, and then move those elbows out to the side. We're coming down. Okay, we can take cactus arms here and just kind of spread the palms to the sky. Spread your chest open to the sky. Okay, and beginning a little gentle twist here. Let's get the legs up in the air first. Just to let all the blood flow back down towards your body. Some circles with your ankles. Move your toes, squinch your toes. Okay, let's do figure eights. Keep squinching your toes. Straightening them out, reverse your figure eights. Okay, you want to go until your feet and your calves get a little bit tired. And then go ahead and relax that up. We're going to cross the right knee over the left. Okay, little cross. Some folks want to cross at the knee. Some folks like to double cross at the ankle. So really whatever you like is awesome. Okay, keep those knees kind of pulling up and in towards your chest. And keep your upper body grounded here. So think of pressing your arms down and lifting that heart up. Okay, we're going to hover the knees side to side. So hover them over to one side and look away as you hover them. Okay. Okay, bring them through center nice and slow. Inhale through. And exhale, hover them the other way. Look away. Let's take a few more like that. Okay, maybe eyes are closing down just to enjoy inhaling through center and exhaling to the other side. So keep breathing here, keep moving. Just very lovingly wringing out your spine, recalibrating it. We've done some nice work today. Also massaging out those hips on the mat here, on the floor, and getting the low back. Great. Recalibration. Okay, next time those knees go out to any side, just whatever side, hold them there. Just let them fall. Look away from them and breathe. Think of dropping the shoulder blades, lifting the heart. Okay, one more really big breath here. And bring it through center. Keep the legs crossed just like they are, right over left. Drop them to the other side. Look away from them. Breathe here. Press the arms down, lift the heart up. Okay, as you're ready, roll this amazing twist back through center. Untangle your legs. Shake them out in the air again. Maybe some more circles. Toe movement, figure eights. Kind of bringing the circulation back in there. Okay, let's cross left over right. Single or double cross. Okay, arms grounded. Side to side. Keep breathing. Keep moving. Okay, remember to keep it nice and slow. Inhale through center. Exhale to the side. Okay, friends, next time those knees drop to one side, let them fall. Look away from them. Breathe. Okay, remember to lift your heart here. As you're ready, switch to the other side. Drop those knees, look away. And take a few really deep breaths in your twist. Just wringing any last bit of tension out of your back. Okay. Okay, bring it through to the others, or bring it through, uncross here. Extract it, shake them out. Go ahead and extend your legs, extend your arms. You might have to scoot yourself back on your mat like me. And take a moment here, we're just gonna rest. Okay, allow your breath to really slow down and just be very, very soft and effortless. And let your body relax too. Okay, finding that the jaw can really hang open. Let your eyes and your forehead relax. Allow your focus to drift inward. Notice every moment, every little detail. If your focus wanders to the past or the future, maybe you just practice bringing your awareness into the present. It's a wonderful practice. And it's challenging sometimes to watch the mind kind of race around to different things. That's okay. Just being aware, just watching that mind, bringing it back to the present. It's a great time to practice that when you're laying in your shavasana. After just a few minutes of rest, notice any changes in your body. Things like your breathing rate and your heart rate. A sense of hot or cold. Are you cooler or warmer? And notice the difference between this Shavasana and the first one we did. I think it's a pretty big difference. All right, friends, please keep resting just like this for as long as you can. Give us a nice long Shavasana today, but feel free to take even longer. The longer, the better. Thanks so much for practicing with me.